right, K-pop Foodz. So on the full size is all they gave me, so that's why I sent you guys the permit drawing. So we got ourselves, for you cats, this is nothing. This is just a walk in the park. We got some dual lit channels, and we got ourselves a double glow push through cabinet, like we do, a la Cabazon and whatnot. But it's the cabinet that I wanted to point out a couple things, because we got ourselves a world premiere, got ourselves an all new technology for that cabinet. So I just want to kind of go over that real quick. But otherwise, you guys will be knocking this out. But let's still do a lay of the land, though. Let's get after it. So cabinet parts here. Got jiggies. Keep an eye out. Braces and whatnot. Cabinet faces. Broken. It's bigger than 10 feet, which is why I kind of want to go over this for this kind of cabinet. I did send over some Mark 6s. Now, I understand we're starting to stack these a lot. But this is how you kind of do this. You kind of keep going. This is how you can like build a surplus like this. Even in times of not war times, you just keep building weapons, and the next thing you know, you have a bunch. So even if these get cleaned but don't get bent, keep them organized, keep them set aside, because there will be one day when people are talking about going home because they have nothing to do. We can start putting these together and just, have a huge surplus, even if we have to put them up top. They don't have an expiration date. They're not going to go bad. So, as long as the manufacturers don't change our mounting holes. But other than that, I understand I've been sending a lot of these over and they're kind of redundant, but let's just keep stacking them up, keep going with it. So that way we have plenty. So you got your white internals, and you got 1/2-inch pushies. Get those to First Shop. And you got your usual Tough Axe backers. Send those in. And then you've got, these are just for your channel letters. You guys got that. Boom. And you got your faces. So, and I think the faces do get vinyl. So get those to first for yourselves before you trim cap. So the cabinet is what I want to go over. It's our usual sort of Cabazon. That's the original sort of reverse glow shoebox thing. But what might look familiar is this was actually where I was going to go with center stage. And I kind of was like, because center stage was so big and it was so compromised, as you remember, all this is chopped out. And I was just racking my brain, like, how are we going to make that Cabazon floppy, big giant thing? And so I needed to put a frame into center stage and do that 2-piece. So the 2-piece was center stage. And this is where I was originally going to go. I was going to go with these tabs that would go into the face frame, and then the back frame would mount to the wall, which would also be the backer for center stage. And then install would then come along and slide in the tabs, and then it would give us that sort of frap ability all the way around. So it was going to be more of a 2-piece system. But I could just envision being up there trying to get these tangs, like these tab things, to fit in there. And it was just a little too far to go with for center stage. However, I was like, you know what, though? I'm going to, want to know what? I'm going to put this into my bag of tricks, and we're going to hold on to that because I like that whole 2-piece system with these, like, these little groove, these little tongue and groove thing. But it just wasn't going to work for center stage. And then boom, here it comes. So thanks, Stephanie. So we have ourselves this guy. So it is bigger than the break. It has to be seamed, and it was going to be a little too funky. So I thought I would give this a try. So this is the world premiere of this sort of style. So it's going to be the same thing. You're going to make a front frame and a back frame, just that you're just going to slide these little tongues in each one of these, and then you're just going to cleco and tack it to the return. Now, of course, this is going to hold the sign up, so make sure you get some good tacks, but overall, you don't have to weld the crap out of it. And then that's going to give us a nice solid structure to lords the faces to. The faces will be like this, and then you're going to cram in those sort of, splicers there. You're going to lords those in, and that's going to stabilize the outer flap. And then you're just going to tack in the ends and then go ahead and lords it to this frame. The frame will have C channels to the face, and then that'll give us a place to stabilize that face seam, and this will be nice and strong. And then hopefully these don't get bent up too much in production, going out to prep and everything. So just be careful of that. And the side one does not have a mounting hole. This is just for the bottom edge of this guy is going to set the alignment on this guy. So it's going to just rest on that. And then that will set the up and down. That'll get the party started. The backer is about 0.3. It's about a 30-second bigger, but you won't see it because, unless you want to somehow get a ladder and go look. But to the naked eye, it'll be just like a normal thing. But that way, that allows for that clearance to slide these in. And when they frap, it'll kind of bend in, kind of tension. So that way it shouldn't go anywhere. And then so you're just going to build a little back frame, and it's going to have receiving slots for that. So install is going to go put that up first. And then they're going to go ahead and put this up second. In order to get to the mounting holes, you can see where the white had to be a little bit wider. So do not put the white on for them. Go ahead and just put your LEDs and everything and get your leashes out in this area here. And then go ahead and set them aside, because install is going to have access to those to those mounting holes first. And that being said, when you guys go ahead and put this on, you're going to go ahead and weld in the backer pieces first, the C channels to the wall, and then you're going to go ahead and rivet these on. But if you rivet these in first, then you won't have access to the jigs to weld these in. So don't get caught out. So you got to weld those in first and then rivet in the LED holders. And those will just kind of float up top. And then that gives you a place to frap in the LED trays. But the LED trays, like I said, you don't need to install those to the backer. I mean, if you want to make sure they fit and everything, that's great. But install needs those out of the way to install the frame. So install is going to, put the frame up first, go ahead and run their leashes through the hole, and then go ahead and mount these. And then they're just going to slide this over. That being said, when you guys do your chain of LEDs on the outside for the reverse glow, I'm leaving it up to you to gain entrance into the sign itself. So you guys are gonna have to drill a hole and bring your leash in. But keep in mind, here's your power. It's kind of over here, a little bit off to the left here, because I wanted to avoid any shadows. So it's in between Korean and street. So that's where your power congregates. So if you want to do your chain of LEDs and kind of maybe make your leash, now of course you want to do it on the bottom so water doesn't pour in from the top. But if you want to do your hole and then give them a leash to bring through, and then they can get it to this area here. So that's kind of what you want to shoot for, is your leash around that area. So I just wanted to point that out. It's a little different. It's center stage. Center stage gave birth to this method. It isn't to say that we won't do the normal shoe boxes, but those, but when anytime we have to face seam on the shoebox part, then that means we need to notch the backer, and you guys have to go through all those steps of notching out the backer and all that. So I know there's a little bit more involved with making this frame, but when we can stabilize this thing and make it a lot stronger like that and give it that strength, then we're always, the sign's going to be a lot happier that way. So, so like I said, now we kind of have different ways of doing this. So if this works out well, we'll keep this in our bag of tricks. We'll also have the way you did center stage, where it just sort of gets all put together as one piece. Or we'll keep our normal shoebox when it's like a smaller guy like this, and then we can just do a backer and some quick bend folds that'll just slide over. So so just adding to that, to our arsenal, our weapons there. So anyway, but I think that's it for this. So otherwise, I think you guys got it. So good luck. We're all counting on you.
Check the technique. Check the technique.